So I'm really excited to welcome Jeremy Cohen, leader of Quartet San Francisco. So thank you to be here. Thank you so much. Quindi grazie per essere qui con noi. Riprendo l'introduzione, quindi siamo con Jeremy Cohen in questo momento, che ci sta per raccontare insomma la sua storia. Davide, vuoi riprendere la risposta alla tua prima domanda?
Traduco. Allora sì, la domanda era come si affronta diciamo il cammino verso l'esplorazione di campi diversi, come il jazz, il tango, e lui diceva sostanzialmente di rimanere accesi, di ascoltare con attenzione, perché gli stimoli musicali arrivano indipendentemente dal fatto che tu stai studiando musica classica in quel momento, ma per esempio un'esperienza che aveva fatto era con il trombone, suonava in una band di jazz, per cui il linguaggio lo ascolti, lo impari, metti insieme tutte le cose che hai, così gli input che ti arrivano in quel periodo storico lì, e se hai le orecchie aperte e fai attenzione, poi dopo è più facile muoversi e decidere che direzione prendere. Adesso direi Rachel può fare...
Sì, mi interessa molto questa vacillazione quasi tra musica classica e musica non classica. Metto insieme tantissime tipologie di musica non classica, dal jazz al soul, al blues, a tango, appunto, a pop, world music. E quanto sia difficile o facile migrare, perché è un'emigrazione a volte vera e propria, da uno stile ad un altro stile, come è facile a livello tecnico e quanto è facile a livello di testa. So Jeremy, what I was just saying was that I'm very interested in how you migrate from one style of music to another. So from classical music to non-classical music, both on a technical level. So are there any technical difficulties, or do you play all music in the same way, using a technique which you have learned and adapting it? And then on a mental level, is it difficult to break down the barriers and move from one style to another? What happens to you when you do it?
That's a lot of good questions. I want to try to hold on and grab onto one comment at one thing at a time. The first thing that you said was, I do use my training, my classical training, intonation, ensemble, accuracy, bow hold, bow technique. Mm-hmm. But I think in order to do this thing that you're calling crossover, which I accept the term begrudgingly, but when I crossover, I think I have developed another 5% or 10% of technique. I've added to my technique, because in some ways, we were talking about earlier, some sounds that I would use in a more contemporary style from the 1900s or 2000s wouldn't be necessarily appropriate in a classical setting. So, I mean, in tango, even in tango, the chichara, when you do, this is not a classical technique, but this is what makes tango sound like tango. So there's some additional vocabulary. So I've added another 5, or maybe, I only say 5%, because I don't want to scare people away. It's not 50%. And it's not. Just appropriate sounds. Sliding. I would be thrown out of orchestra. I would be thrown out of a violin lesson if I did that. But if I were playing, not appropriate classical, appropriate in blues, therefore it's part of the extra 5% of technique. The other part of your question was about the mental side, and that is that I have to say at the end of the day, no matter how much I talk about it right now, that just comes down to fear. The fear to try something, the fear of making a mistake, the fear of being judged or judging yourself negatively. If you know that that's an appropriate sound, that singer in the shower knows that that kind of fat vibrato on a note is what drives people crazy. How do we make that on our instrument? I need to know. How do I approach this? And I'll try to say really quickly, my process came from studying for violin lessons. When I was a student in New York, I studied with Itzhak Perlman. And there's nothing worse than the week before a lesson with Perlman, where I have to go and play for him in his living room. Nothing was more nerve-wracking. I mean, I handle nerves now quite well because I was able to face going and playing for the person I perceived as the greatest violinist in his time. So, in order to escape the fear and the work and the crazy amount of practice that I had to do to prepare, I would just rest. I'd finish practicing. I couldn't practice anymore, and I'd get in my apartment and I'd just start doing it. And they're just strange sounds. I'm not practicing a specific technique, but I'm also just developing a relationship between my fingers, my ear, my instrument. I'm learning how to talk on it. I'm learning how to control a voice on my instrument that's not just according to the rules of pedagogy and classical education, but it's how to connect my imagination and the voice of my inner ear to my hands, so that when I sing something to myself, I can make it happen. I have a process for approaching it on the instrument. It's not all hard facts. It's fearlessness to sort of, some things I would like the sound of them. I like it descending. It seems bumpier going up. I would just try to make things work. Just make stuff work. Make the connection between my ear and my hands and my instrument more together, so that I could. Okay, so that I hope addresses the mental, the psychological side of it. And not judging those sounds as negative. If I played something I didn't like, I didn't try it again. But if I heard something I thought was interesting, I wanted to know how to control it, and be able to use it as a voice. And that's how these more contemporary sounds crept into my playing. And I don't use them if I'm trying to be appropriate in a classical format. If I'm playing Bach, I'm not throwing those things in there. It doesn't make Bach any better. It doesn't. You can't. It's as perfect as it is, as written. And if it's everything I can do to play it accurately without throwing my great ideas on it. But if I want to stylize it in a Latin style, then that's another conversation.
Okay.
I hope that answers your questions. I hope.
Yes, that was great. Thank you, Davide. Would you like to?
Yeah, ok.
We'll just translate now for the Italian audience.
Sì, velocemente cerco di riassumere. Allora, la prima, parto dalla seconda, non mi ricordo più la prima. La seconda è sulla paura e di come la paura è fondamentale riuscire a controllarla, perché la connessione con lo strumento è quello che poi ti permette di avere la tranquillità di esprimere la tua voce. Ha fatto l'esempio della lezione con Perman, che era anche lui il più grande violinista in quell'epoca lì, è un colosso, e trovarsi di fronte a lui in soggiorno a suonare era una delle cose più emozionanti, più stressanti. Perciò si è messo a fare dei suoni non convenzionali sullo strumento, cercando più che la pulizia e l'ordine del brano che doveva portare, un modo diciamo, di trovare un contatto stretto con lo strumento in maniera che la paura si allontanasse, perché diventa più così familiare, più congeniale. Faceva degli esempi e questo è un concetto molto importante, perché in effetti è uno dei fondamenti anche del andare a trovare campi di espressione diversi, per cui se non c'è la paura c'è anche la possibilità di affrontare certi linguaggi che magari ti sembrano difficili, ostici, pieni di ostacoli. La prima parte invece, lei ci ricordami com'era?
Era invece sulla parte invece della tecnica, proprio la tecnica la tecnica che ci vuole per suonare tipologie di musiche diverse. Perciò...
Sì, lui diceva che esplorando diversi campi lui trova una somma in un 5% di tecnica in più che ha aggiunto rispetto alla tecnica base di musica classica. Dice 5% per non spaventare, perché sennò se dice 50 sembra poco, però il 5% include probabilmente quell'esempio che faceva degli suoni per raccontare il tango, no? Sulle corde dietro al ponticello, oppure certi glissandi che ti butterebbero fuori dall'orchestra se ti trovi a farlo, se ti sentono lì, ma nel momento in cui sei dentro a la musica del jazz, per cui quel tipo di glissando diventa un colore.
Sono colori in più da utilizzare in momenti adatti. Ha fatto anche l'esempio che ovviamente non si metterebbe mai a fare certi suoni suonando Bach, perché non è appropriato. Bach si suona pulito così com'è, senza dover aggiungere altro. Però se lui dovesse fare una reinterpretazione di Bach sullo stile di Bach latino, diciamo, avevo fatto un esempio, allora a quel punto è un po' permesso tutto, no? La sperimentazione, spingere i confini, cioè il divertimento forse, no? Il divertimento.
And Jeremy, how do you see the future of the music, especially in the acoustic field, like the violin? Now that with this pandemic, especially, we are going deep inside the virtual world, in the electronic composition and everything.
I think the answer is not entirely known. Everybody has sort of jumped onto the internet in sort of a clumsy way. It hasn't taken its real developed form yet. But I think a lot of musicians are giving concerts from home on their, or from their balcony, or you can see people serenading their town from the balcony. Some combination of technology and traditional instruments. I'm not really afraid that we've reached the end of people going out to see music. I just think we have some things to go through. We're watching our friends in Italy. You guys are ahead of us, and we're making a worse mess here than imaginable. But this too will pass. Unfortunately, we'll lose a lot of souls. We'll have more reason to be artists. But I think to discover how this technology will combine with these traditional instruments. I mean, if you think about Cremona, being the center of the violin, of the string music, string instrument world, I should say, they have computers too. They're with us. The tradition. And what's a wonderful thing about Italy, really, if you think about it, is that the history is with you everywhere you go, and the modern mind and the contemporary life finds its way to live side by side. I think you're a living example of what a beautiful history, and we only have hope for our future right now. But there will be one, and it will also be good. If you think about a company or you know, that changes our country. I'm not going to politics, but I am not going to go to politics, especially as an American with an Italian. That's like that would be crazy. But you have, even wonderful Italians have hope for that the future is a better reality for you, and you look and you see the other places in the world that have done better and done worse, and we try to move towards a future and we try to make it good. And I think artists are it secretly in the front of that, because they're putting their imagination in front of everybody, and everybody can see and experience for themselves what is inside of another person, and then we start to see what's good. Even when we look at what's bad at each other, we can see our way to the future. So the quick answer, again, which I don't always give, is that technology and the traditional instruments will find a place. You know, right now I did a video, I think we're going to see it in this, where I sent music from my home to my colleagues' homes, and we recorded music to the same click or to the same audio track, and we are able to be an ensemble purely through technology. So I don't think the technology will replace us. It can't live without us. Without us, the technology is useless or pointless. It still needs humans.
Allora traduco io. La domanda era sul futuro della musica suonata, la musica acustica, lo strumento. Lui è positivo, lui dice che anche se adesso ci siamo tutti buttati sull'internet, poi si tornerà a una situazione più normale dove i musicisti sono comunque necessari. Mi diceva, adesso per esempio hanno registrato questo video per noi che vedremo domenica, dove ognuno manda la traccia agli altri, ma sono loro che suonano, per cui la necessità di esserci, cioè il musicista è necessario ancora. Quello che vede per il futuro è più una fusione, più probabilmente una fusione tra gli strumenti acustici e quelli elettronici. Prima, quando parlavamo, prima della trasmissione, mi faceva anche l'esempio di quando lui ha iniziato, quando è arrivato il sintetizzatore, quegli strumenti elettronici, sembrava già che fosse la fine degli strumenti acustici. Poi in realtà proseguono e si trovano nuove formule, cambiano naturalmente lo scenario musicale, ma si ricrea qualcosa di nuovo. E la necessità anche di avere il musicista di fronte è data dal fatto che quando hai un musicista di fronte riesci a capire sia il lato positivo che il negativo, hai una percezione di quello che lui sta pensando, sta comunicando, sta elaborando. Rachel, you have another question?
I do have another question, but actually I think we need to get Jeremy's microphone unmuted, because I think that, okay, that's it. Jeremy, as a performer, as all performers, there are things that you like about being on the stage performing, I'm sure, and things that I don't want to say you don't like, but what do you like about being on the stage? What, you know, we were talking now about why performers can't be replaced. What does a performer get on the stage, and what does a performer give on the stage that's irreplaceable?
Wow. I had spent some weeks not playing. Our tours were canceled, and I wasn't playing much. To answer your question, I was invited onto a sort of Facebook music festival, you know, and so it was a half an hour of this person, a half an hour of that person. There's an organization here called Classical Revolution that hosts, you know, concerts locally, but now they're doing them online. There had been a long gap, and it was a little depressing because our tour to the Midwest was canceled, our summer stuff is canceled, and, you know, it's all that's piling on. And then I got invited onto this Facebook festival, and interestingly enough, I noticed the numbers of people were there, and some of them were my friends, and some of them were making comments. And it filled me with all the energy of being watched, appreciated, giving people that experience of being able to receive music, my performance, and feel something from it. I found that unbelievably motivating. Like, it was like I was back on stage.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I'm so used to it, and I've done it all my life that, when company came over, my mom would plop me down in front of the piano and I'd play for company. It was like, I've been doing it since I was a child, but I didn't realize how much I had missed the sense of communication that happens between a performer and a listener filled me with life. I could have done it for 2 hours without stopping, because I was getting feedback, the kind of feedback one gets, even through the computer, the kind of feedback one gets from being in a hall and seeing people respond to a performance, like something. It gives them relaxation, it gives them excitement, just to be able to be creating that kind of feeling was extraordinarily, it was shocking, because I was alone in my house, but I was having the same sort of almost adrenaline kind of feeling of being a performer on stage. And it was a big learning experience for me. I realized how much I actually miss playing, but I was able now with technology, what it is, to experience some of that through technology. So I'll stop there. So if you want to say it, otherwise I'll just keep going. So I think doesn't that answer?
That's fine, yes. Davide, do you want to?
No, traduci tu, che io intanto cerco di far rientrare Irina, perché
sì.
è sparita. Gli scrivo.
Allora, io avevo chiesto una domanda su quello che si dona, su quello che si riceve come musicista, come performance sul palcoscenico. E Jeremy ha parlato del fatto che in queste settimane di quarantena ha fatto un'esperienza interessante, che c'è stato un festival che ha deciso di invitare dei musicisti a fare dei set di mezz'ora per portare la musica comunque nelle case delle persone, nonostante il fatto che non si possa fare musica ovviamente dal vivo, nemmeno in America in questo periodo. E Jeremy ha proprio parlato del fatto che è stato stupito di sentire l'energia e di sentire, oserei anche dire, l'amore del pubblico, l'entusiasmo del pubblico, e sentire quasi l'adrenalina, come se lui fosse sul palcoscenico invece di essere proprio a casa sua a suonare da solo. Ed è stata un'esperienza molto, molto bella, molto arricchente, molto interessante, anche nonostante il fatto che fosse attraverso il mezzo, cioè, digitale, cioè un computer alla fine. Non c'era un pubblico dal vivo nel vero senso della parola, però c'era un pubblico più che vivo online che osservava questa sua performance, perciò è stata un'esperienza bella e interessante. Ok.
Irina, vai. Eccola.
Eccomi. Eccomi, sono tornata. I'm so sorry, Jeremy. I was listening to you also, but today it's not really good for connection. So, but I was following you. So, thank you.
Your video is much improved.
I was sure your company. I remember your company is precious. It's very, 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 very nice, very powerful. So thank you so much. You want to tell us something about Sunday? About the music we will listen to?
Yes, well, there was a very interesting American composer by the name of Raymond Scott. And part of what I do in Quartet San Francisco, and I have done in my career, is focus on music of our lifetimes, the lifetimes of the artists and the performers. Part of my growing up experience in California was watching cartoons. Better. And in some of those cartoons, in the Bugs Bunny cartoons, was wonderful classical music combined with also other themes and other bits of orchestration when Bugs Bunny was mad, or when Elmer Fudd was, very determined, or hunting Daffy Duck, or, in these soundtracks were this wonderful bits of music. And years later, when I was an adult, I was working in a show called Forever Tango. And one of the stagehands, an American guy pushing a broom across the stage, came up to me and handed me a CD. And on this CD was the music that I recognized from the Warner Brothers cartoons. It turned out to be a CD of music by a composer named Raymond Scott. And I listened to this CD, and it was like one of those great experiences. It was like the first time I heard Piazzolla. It was like the first time I had heard, Solima. It was the first time, it just changed it stopped me. It stopped me in the moment, and I had to stop and listen, and I wanted to understand this music more, deeper. And so I listened to the CD, and then I wanted to play it. And I used that process that we were talking about earlier of internalizing the music, understanding it, and then trying to play it. It turned out that music from the Raymond Scott was the other music that was used in the Warner Brothers cartoons. Although Raymond Scott never wrote music for cartoons, his music was used for cartoons. So it's not cartoon music. But one interesting fact is that the drummer in Raymond Scott's band, the percussionist, is John Williams' father, Johnny Williams. And again, we have the connection of the legacy of traditional music, classical music, contemporary music, living on the same stream. So to get to the song that I perform in the video is a piece by Raymond Scott, and I produced the video with each of my group members at home and tried to focus on what I thought my ear follows. When you see the video, you'll see where my ear pays attention to each member of the group, because I use the film to track where I look in my ensemble as the first violinist. I'm looking at the cellist, I'm looking at the violist, and you sort of see what the inside of my brain is looking at in the video. Irina?
Allora, io posso così ricapitolare un pochino soprattutto la prima parte, perché è quella che ho sentito. Quindi quello che gli ho chiesto è che regalo ci farà domenica, perché domenica quello che Jeremy ha deciso di donarci è proprio un regalo. Non è soltanto un pezzo di musica, ma è proprio un autore. È un autore che lui definisce propriamente americano, quindi è anche importante, no? In questi nostri viaggi siamo finiti in questo momento sulla costa ovest dell'America settentrionale, siamo molto vicino a San Francisco, quindi avere come riferimento un autore, oltre che ovviamente a un quartetto e a una persona che ce lo racconta, è molto importante, perché questo può rientrare, no, nella nostra espansione di conoscenze, quindi viaggiare un po' anche questo, no? E con la musica si può fare sicuramente. Quello che rimane sono gli scritti, i dischi e le registrazioni di Raymond Scott. Quindi Raymond Scott è quello che tutti noi riconosciamo come ma la conosco questa musica, è quella dei cartoons, no? Quindi anche lui l'ha scoperto così, no? Quindi sicuramente un passaggio interessante è stato fatto proprio invece nello scoprire che questa musica non era stata fatta apposta per i cartoons, ma era stata composta da Raymond Scott con l'intenzione di essere una partitura a tutti gli effetti, e poi è stata invece adottata, ecco, dal linguaggio, da quello che noi definiamo un linguaggio cartoon. Io sono arrivata qui, la seconda parte purtroppo non l'ho potuta sentire, quindi...
Mi ricordo che, allora, fammi fare mente locale. Allora, no, è un fatto interessante che dice che lui è ispirato da questa musica, perché gli è arrivato in mano un CD dato da un tecnico del teatro, praticamente, dove fece un concerto, e che questa musica fu suonato da una band. E in questo band c'era anche il papà di John Williams, un famosissimo compositore, perciò c'è sempre questo interessante intreccio tra musica classica contemporanea, che fa anche verso un pochino alla musica meno classica, mettiamolo giù così, ed è sempre interessante incontrare altre persone che hanno un percorso che non è strettamente classico, però che si intreccia con altri stili, con altre sonorità.
Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in school and in my music, and I continue to this day. I am still a classical violinist. But I had to learn that experience. You have the benefit of being physically in the world where that music was created. I grew up in the New World in California, where it was not the reality. I cross over and play in other genres and styles because I want to connect to the music that I have an actual visceral feeling for, the music of my time. The music that I listen to those cartoons growing up. I know exactly what it feels like to be a kid experiencing that music in real time. So my appreciation for classical music is no less. I still marvel at the wonderful composers, the music. As a composer myself, the genius and inspiration of all the great composers. But I didn't live when they lived. It wasn't my time. You know, my time is this. My time is growing up and experiencing West Side Story by Leonard Bernstein. I know what that feels like. I don't know what Haydn 122 feels like in its time. I can only imagine, and my education can only tell me. I still love it, and I love history, but I didn't feel it in its day. And I try to live as a musician in where I feel in a contemporary sense that I'm feeling. Does that make sense?
Oh yes. Quindi un passaggio sicuramente importante, l'avete ascoltato, voglio tradurlo velocemente per quanto ci permette la connessione un po' difficile oggi. lui dice, ma io certo sono un classico, sono molto affezionato a tutto quello che è il mondo della musica classica, ma anche inteso come parte della storia, no? E dice, però aggiungo una cosa, io vivo adesso, vivo in questo momento, e quindi io conosco l'aspetto dell'essere musicista veramente in questo momento, quindi il poter interpretare una musica che fa parte, è più vicina a me, mi dà la possibilità di essere un musicista, come dire, del mio tempo, quindi anche di poter esprimere, non immaginando, ma sentendo realmente, no? quello che mi succede tutto intorno. Quindi la musica è intesa anche come trascrizione a volte della realtà, no? Che è una realtà di quello che viviamo, una realtà della storia che stiamo vivendo, dei fatti che viviamo, eccetera. Quindi è un punto sicuramente molto importante. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you so much.
I want to say one thing. I know that you come to Italy often for a masterclass teaching. So I'm asking you now, everything is frozen, but let us know when you come next time so we can maybe meet and invite people to come to your masterclass.
Maybe July and August of 2021.
Yeah.
July and August. I know it's a warm time there.
Wow.
Yes.
When we come for the Class International Music Festival, I come in late July and early August in Archidoso every summer. It's
yes.
This summer we're sending our love and a video for them. We're making a video for the music festival. They won't have it this summer, but thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been wonderful
to see you soon,
Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
So say hello to the other guys at the quartet, please. Say thank you, and bring our love and our
best wishes.
Welcome. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We're with you. We're watching. We're hearing about Italy, good and bad, all the things that are happening. But we're watching every day. We're with you.
Grazie.
Okay.
Grazie, Jeremy.
Ciao.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.